Well, we're going to go ahead and get started, take advantage of the sun that's shining on this wonderful day. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today for this wonderful event. My name is Michael Cogle. I'm with the Department of Parks and Community Services, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to Hazen Hills Park, Kirkland's newest public park. Before we hear from our speakers, I would like to introduce some of our officials that are here today. We have several city council members here today. For those of you that have not met our city council members, they've been very busy this spring because this is the third park ceremony that we've had over recent weeks, and we've a lot of wonderful things happening with our park system here in Kirkland. I'd like to introduce Toby Nixon. Our City Council Member Toby Nixon, Deputy Mayor Jay Arnold, Council Member John Pascal, and I'll introduce the Mayor here momentarily, but I also want to introduce representing our Kirkland Park Board today, Kobe Chu in the back, our youth member. Thank you, Kobe, for being here again. Kobe was able to walk down the hill. This is his neighborhood. Also, I'd like to introduce the Director of Parks and Community Services, Lynn Swagstra, here today. And our first speaker, I'd like to introduce our Kirkland City Council member and Mayor of Kirkland, Amy Walen.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. So on behalf of the Kirkland City Council and all of us at the City Hall, I'd like to thank you for joining us as we celebrate Hazen Hills Park as the newest addition to our incredible, the envy of the region, park system. In our community, we have established a goal that everyone will be within a 10-minute walk of a park. And the donation of this incredible property by the Hazen Hills Homeowners Association brings us another step closer to achieving that goal. And we're so pleased to be able to add this beautiful space to our parks inventory. The 19th century author and women's rights activist and abolitionist Lydia Maria Child wrote the famous poem, and Michael Cogle picks the most amazing quotes for me to read. She wrote the famous poem, "Over the river and through the woods, to grandfather's house we go." I think it was grandmother's house. At least it was when I was a kid. Perhaps she was thinking about a park, maybe even a little bit like this one when she wrote those words. And she also wrote the words, "An effort made for the happiness of others lifts us above ourselves." So we want to thank the Homeowners Association. You have our deep gratitude for this generous donation to the community, for this community today and for generations to come to enjoy this open space. Another famous author, Maya Angelou, wrote, "One must know not just how to accept a gift, but with grace how to share it." And the City of Kirkland promises to care for this park to the best of our ability today and for always, for generations to come, and to continue to work with you to make this public space to be something to be proud of forever. So thank you very much. And Michael? Oh, I'm not going to take this.
So it's been a great partnership between the city and the Homeowners Association to bring us to this day, and I'd like to have two representatives of the Hazen Hills Homeowners Association come up to say a few words. President Ryan Tiumisto and Vice President and Park Coordinator Bob Johnson.
All right, how's everyone doing? Good. So first I'd like to recognize some of our other board members. We have Dava Seamers, Bob Johnson, you've already heard, or you will hear from. Dorda Olson, where you at? Thank you. Margot, thank you for all of your help on this event as well in the back, setting up all the events for the kids. And Karen Larson, who's not here, but she's also on the board helping us kind of, guide through this whole process. The Hazen Hills Homeowners Association has had this park ever since the beginning of the association and the housing in the area. But it's always been a benefit to our members alone, being that it was a private park, and the burden and the costs and the upgrades were made or scheduled by us. And so when Bob brought the idea, the potential of transferring the park ownership to the city, we thought that it was a great idea. It was a great partnership between us and the city, allowing our homeowners to still have great access to the park, but then also open it up to our neighbors, to some of the other folks that enjoyed the park, the Evergreen Health. Their folks come over here and they'd have lunch and they'd sit here and enjoy the sunshine. People in the apartments across the street would walk over and bring their dogs or play catch or whatever it was. So it wasn't so much just a homeowners association park, it was more of a neighborhood park. And so the whole idea that when the city of Kirkland was looking at taking parks for neighborhoods, it just seemed like it was a natural fit for us. And looking at, you know, the services that they would be able to provide that we just weren't able to do. The garbage service, the recycling, the improvements to the benches, to the picnic tables. It just seemed like it was a great fit for us as a homeowners association, but then also just a great fit for the city of Kirkland and for its residents. So we were really excited when our association had agreed to pass for us to start talking with the city about providing the park to them or transferring the park to them. So it's really exciting to have this ceremony today to transfer everything over officially. I know we signed the paperwork and all that a couple months ago, but we started seeing all the improvements, the new benches, the new picnic tables and that sort of thing a couple months ago. And it's just been great. So everyone that I've talked to in the neighborhood has loved it and is excited about it, and just excited to see where everything goes in the future. But big thank you to Bob Johnson, because this was a lot of his vision and you know, tireless work communicating with the city and then coming back to us, and then we talk to people in our association and our members. So thank you, Bob, for all of your work. But we're just really excited about this. So thank you, City of Kirkland. Bob, thank you. Do you have anything? Absolutely. Thank you.
Do I have anything? In April 1969, this park was deeded by the developers to the Hazen Hills Homeowners Association, and 48 years later, in April 2017, it was deeded to the city of Kirkland. And for the last 48 years, Hazen Hills, and Brian has spoken to this, has maintained and preserved this property as a park. And I'm certain that over the years, many people have made a contribution to taking care of the park. But from my perspective, and I'm a relative short timer here, I've attended the association meetings for probably the last 15 years. There are two people in my mind who stand out with regard to their contribution to preserving and maintaining the park, and that's Bob and Dava Seamers. This is Dava, and Bob is standing there in the back. And they've been the go-to people in terms of caring for the park. Now, first I'll talk about Bob. Bob's a quiet type. He just looks around to see what needs to be done and goes out and does it. He can tell you the history of the park. When the grass was so tall you couldn't see the small children running around in the park. And he can tell you about the swing that isn't here anymore. If something needs attention, it's likely that Bob just takes care of it. He keeps the creek over here clear of debris so the water flow isn't blocked up coming out of the culvert, and also he takes care of down at the other end so that the blackberry vines don't cover the culvert going across underneath 132nd Street. So Bob, thank you for your support and taking care of the park all these years. And then there's Dava. She's the business person. For many years she has kept the books, organized the annual meetings, opened her home for the meetings. She has maintained the ownership records, paid the bills, put out the mailings, contracted for park mowing and maintenance, and generally kept the homeowner association going. It was a lot of work and responsibility, and Dava, we thank you for your stewardship. Now for a bit of history as to why we're here today celebrating the transfer of the park to the city of Kirkland. Hazen Hills is a small community consisting of just 93 homes, so our resources are limited. Our largest expense has been to mow the grass, and our ability to make capital improvements is doubtful. We lack park management expertise. We had no garbage collection, and we did put some doggy bag things available here, but people taking them back has been a bit of a problem, so disposal has been an issue. So the Hazen Hills Board of Trustees discussed our situation and decided, why not make it a Kirkland City Park? The park would continue to be available to Hazen Hills and would have all the benefits we couldn't provide. Benefits like professional park management, garbage collection, policing the park, and the potential for capital improvements, and the list goes on. We've never made any real effort to control who uses the park, and have always been willing to share it with the surrounding community. This location makes it very attractive as an addition to the park system. On our first attempt to make this a city park, it didn't go too well. This was the time we were annexed into the city of Kirkland, and we found that sure, the city would love to have the park, but all we had to do was form a park district to collect funds to pay for the maintenance of the park. Well, that idea died rather quickly. Then a game changer occurred in 2013 with passage of the Parks Road and Bond issue, which among other things provided a funding source for maintenance, operation, and acquisition of parks. Not knowing the players in City Hall, we enlisted help from Linda Heineman, one of the leaders of the Evergreen Hills Neighborhood Association. Linda was involved in coordinating development of the 132nd Street Park down the street here when it was King County, and later, after annexation, of Kirkland Park. She was knowledgeable of who to work with and arranged a meeting with Jennifer Schroeder, then director, and Michael Cogle, Deputy Director, Parks and Community Services. We met at the park, and the result was a win-win situation for both Hazen Hills and the city of Kirkland, and we're here today celebrating a new community park. The park will not only continue to serve Hazen Hills, but all residents within roughly a quarter of a mile in all directions. In addition, Evergreen Hills Neighborhood Association will take over representing the user community to the Parks Department. And so Hazen Hills people, along with anyone else having an interest in what they want this park to be, they can do this either through the Evergreen Hills Neighborhood Association or directly with the Parks Department. I'm certain that your input will be appreciated. And I wish to express my deepest thanks to the homeowners of Hazen Hills for their support. This required a 67% yes vote from them to accomplish the transfer. To the Kirkland City Council, who voted unanimously in favor of the transfer, to Kirk Triplett, City Manager, for his support, to Kevin Raymond, City Attorney, for handling all the legal aspects of the transfer, and last but certainly not least, to Michael Cogle, Deputy Director, Parks and Community Services, for his leadership and support from the beginning through the completion of this project. This was the first time either Michael or I had undertaken this type of a project. It took 3 years and a lot of coordination on both sides, but it was worth it. And I want to thank Tina Lathia, Kirkland Parks. I don't think she's here today, but she helped coordinate this whole thing. And Margot Hopkins from Hazen Hills, who put together all of the activities for today's event. And I also want to thank you all for coming. It's great to be part of this. Enjoy the rest of your time here today, and most of all, enjoy the park. Thank you.
Don't leave quite yet. Thank you very much, Bob. I also want to second what Ryan mentioned about Bob's involvement with this project, because of his persistence, his gentle prodding through the process, his advocacy, I'm not sure we would be here today. So Bob, thank you so much. And what I would like to do is present you with a Kirkland Parks hat. You're an honorary member of the Kirkland Parks Department.
Oh, thank you very kindly.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, so now we are going to unveil the sign down at the end of the park here. So we'd like to invite all of you to join us for that photo opportunity and formal unveiling of the sign naming this Hazen Hills Park. So please join us. We have refreshments. Thanks again, Margot, for organizing the activities. Thank you very much.